Hello fellow Foxalien practitioners. I wanted to kind of go over the way I have mounted my CL4x4 because a lot of people have asked about it. As a mechanical engineer, I kind of over design things or constantly tweak things, and I do have a lot of plans for this table. As you can see, I do have a very large garage here, but I don't want to give up that kind of floor space. And the idea behind doing this is for my other business where I need to make some static displays, and I'm making those out of plywood, and I want to be able to use full sheets of plywood in this system. So I have developed a system for this that I am going to change this table on the bottom of this thing to a vacuum table. And if you look over here, I've already bought the high density polyethylene to do that with. I have looked at using the aluminum, but it was very cost prohibitive to use it. I tend to like things modular too, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount everything on here as 24 by 24. So the idea here is I'm going to, and I'll go over the table in a minute, but I'm going to take these, and I've already designed these over in CAD, where I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to eliminate this table altogether because I don't know if you can see it here, but if I get close, this whole thing just kind of moves, and I'm not happy with it. I've tried to fix it, and it's just band-aids. I want something solid I can just slap wood on and go. I do love the match fit system, which is what I put on here. And the idea of having a vacuum table, I'm not going to get rid of this. I'm going to attach this to the vacuum table. So I'll do some videos on that later and show you how I'm going to do that. But anyway, I'm going to mount this thing directly to the torsion table that I made. And that's going to give me stability. And this thing's pretty dead flat. I was very careful when I made this, so that's going to allow this to be similar to, I'm trying to remember the other machine, but there's other machines similar to this that mount directly to the table. And the other cool thing about this is I'll be able to slide the machine forward, and I'll be able to cut vertically. So if you want to do dovetails, things like that, I have the option to do that as well. So I'll go over that when I get it done and test it and everything. But anyway, let's go over this table and kind of go into the nitty-gritty with that. So the torsion table was just a necessity. I didn't have the floor space, or at least didn't want to give it the floor space, and I wanted to have storage under the table, so when I'm working around it I can put stuff under the table. So that's why I built that, and I wanted it to be dead flat. So I started with the torsion table, and then I had to build a housing for it that would be like a castered system, so I can move it around, and then I can compact it down to the bare minimum basically when I'm done. So this has gone through some iteration. One of the things that limited the design was over here. So this chain here can really only be on this side, and the length of the cables, as you can see here, I used a pipe, a very large pipe. I think it's like a 3-inch pipe, and iron pipe with a flange on it. And I drilled holes through 2 pieces of plywood and through this torsion table to allow the cables to go through, and they go all the way through. And I'm using my DJI here, so it should allow me, well, maybe not. I'm trying to see if I can look inside here, but all the cables, everything runs inside and is out of the way, and that's what I like. Now I did have to put stabilizers on it. It's not like a fixed table. I mean, it does shake a little bit, but it doesn't affect anything, so it works well. It's easy to use, easy to transport, easy to fold up. I can actually flip this table completely upside down and use the other surface, the bottom surface of it, as a fit-up table or something like that. The bottom design here is not the strongest. I would improve that in the future. It's a little flimsy, but it does the job. It gets it done. The way I'm going to build the rest of the parts for mounting this directly to the table is I'm going to make these basically square, cut this off, and then I'm going to have this angle here to mount to the side here, and that's going to allow this to mount directly to the table, and then I can slide this forward and have different mounting holes so that I can bring, let's see if we're going to bring this out a little bit and have a mount right here so I can mount things vertically. All right, so I did design this in CAD, and I don't think I really have the time to make any plans for it, but you can kind of see the way it was designed. The idea here was to have these drawers in it. As you can see, not there yet, so it's a future project. I have some different ideas on how to do the mount here, and I'm creating another modular table for the workshop. But what I did here is I wanted a computer table so that I can work out here. I'm kind of on a break because it's 100 degrees outside every day and I don't feel like being in the garage sweating to death. But I have the vacuum system right here. I did have to have a system to hold the hose. It's just long enough. I wish Foxalien would make these hoses just a little bit longer, but it is what it is. If you come around to the back, I have just one cable connection, or just the power is all I put in there, and everything else is hooked in the back of the system here. As you can see, the way this fits on the table, there's just enough room. This thing's pretty long. I'll have to take measurements and tell you what it is. I believe it's like 78 inches or something like that. So you can see I have to route the cables in the back around to this this machine just to keep them out of the way. I guess you could probably put something on the outside, but the problem is this thing has to close up right here, so I don't want to have to mess with it. So what I do is I tuck them in here. This thing folds down and I don't have to deal with it. There's my vacuum I'm going to use for the vacuum table. That's going to be 4 permanently plumbed vacuum 24 by 24 vacuum pieces, and it's going to have the match fit mounted on top of it. So I have both. I can just take the match fit off when I don't want to use it, when I want to use the vacuum table for doing sheet goods. Now on the other side of this thing here, you can see there's this flange here. Of course, there's a matching one on the other side. If I can get in there, I don't think I can get in there to see it. Maybe we'll look over here. Yep, there it is. And you can see the cables come up to the computer. So I can hook the computer directly to the Foxalien controller, and I can run the program from there. I have some knobs that go through some wood that kind of help stabilize it, but that was not enough. I guess I could have done it on both sides. I only did it on one. As you can see there, it did not do the job. So having these stabilizers really helps. And at the bottom of the stabilizers, I did put furniture, adjustable furniture pegs there, or feet, and that helps to really tighten it down and stabilize it. And all of the casters lock. I don't know if I have them all locked, but when you lock all the casters and you add in these feet and tighten those down pretty good, the thing is very stable.